Welcome to another episode of the Pedestrian Podcast. Joining myself, as ever, Stuart Court, is, as ever, Mr. Adam Nathan. How are we, sir?
I'm good. I'm 6 days away from a trim. I'm looking at our guest on Zoom, and he's clearly had a fresh trim. He's looking good, but this hair is just outrageous now. It's been 4 months, and we're 6 days away, Stu, from the day that we can get a trim, and I cannot wait. Let me tell you, I'm so excited.
Yeah, well, in Derek, Ricky Gervais's Derek, there's a line where Carl Pilkington's talking about why he went bald, and it's this part stayed and that part fucked off, and that's exactly what I'm going through over the last 5-6 months. So yeah, the barbers will be open, the barbers will be visited, but it's just it's a salvage job for me at this point. We are joined this week by former Oregon State cornerback Nahshon Wright, who is just a few weeks away from hopefully hearing his name called during the NFL draft at the end of April. Welcome to the podcast, Nahshon.
Thank you.
How is everything? As I said, a few weeks away from the draft and hopefully hearing your name called. How's everything of your side of America?
Everything's been good. I'm kind of just hanging out, working out, and just kind of finally been able to relax, I guess.
So what was it like going into, what you probably thought was going to be your last college season, let's say 12 months ago, where everyone's getting ready for, how camp's going to go. And then all of a sudden the pandemic hits and the season is going to be torn to shreds. And, the Pac-12 especially, you didn't really get much of a season at all. So how did that feel going into it? You thinking this is my time to really shine, get some great tape out, and all of a sudden things just go crazy for you.
Well, for me, my process was pretty slow because last year I had 12 months ago I had got a surgery done. So I was still rehab. I was doing rehab. I was probably 1 month out of surgery, so I was still rehabbing, doing the little things. So wasn't so much really thinking about it being my last season, but I guess as the year went on and things started to go good for me, it's kind of when I started to think about it, and then maybe like right towards the end of the season, I kind of knew this is what I wanted to do. But my process kind of happened slowly. It really didn't come about until me playing good. I put it on a back burner just because I didn't want that on my mind, and then it took away from what I needed to do during the season.
Was it a tough decision to leave Oregon State, and what went into that decision over the few? Because obviously there's a deadline to make a decision for juniors, as you were. What went into leaving instead of going back for another run in 2021?
A bunch of different things, like my family dynamic, that. Then I have a fiance, so just wanting to be with her a little bit more. And then I'm 22 now, so if I would have stayed another year, I'd have been 23 going into my last. Well, I would have been 23 next season, and then going into my rookie year, I'd have been a 24-year-old rookie. Yeah. So that, and then like kind of wanting to step out the way and let my brother kind of do what he needed to do so he can potentially get to this point. So a little bit of everything for me.
Yeah.
I remember listening to, I think a Seahawk player got drafted. I think it was Kevin Norwood years ago. I don't know why I remember that. And he was asked on the radio, what's it like being a pro player now versus college? He said, man, it's so good not having to do the homework. What's it like? I mean, we all know that when you guys are playing at college, you're almost pro athletes in how much you have to do, and you have to juggle class. I mean, it must be a really chaotic schedule for you. How have you managed to get through that in the last couple of years? It doesn't sound easy.
I mean, well, it's pretty easy. They set it up to where it's like a strict schedule that we have to follow. So like you go to practice in the morning and you go to your classes and you go to meetings, and then like for like the freshmen, sophomores, or people who just struggle in school, So when I first got there, they had me in study hall. So I go to study hall for 2 hours. You be there for 2 hours. Then you get home at 8:00, eat, shower, do whatever you need to do, and go to sleep. And you just repeat that every day. So it was pretty repetitive, but it was a strict schedule so that we were always on top of schoolwork and then able to still play football.
Mm-hmm.
What's the conversations been like with teams, your agents? Is there a gauge on where you'll hear your name called in a few weeks' time, and what like the interest is, and what teams are going to want you to do at the next level?
Well, I've spoken with a handful of teams. Not really so much hearing like what round or my thing with me and my agent is get my foot in the door. So whether it be the 3rd round or the 7th round, I think just hearing my name call would be a blessing. So, but obviously we have a goal in mind and where we want to at least like hear my name called. But if that doesn't happen, then we just know that there's more work that has to be done. I have a strong idea of like what couple teams are somewhat interested. But I think with like they don't really try to show interest. It's more so kind of they try to gauge me and see how I am as a football player on and off the field. And then like, yeah, so I mean, no teams really show interest. It's kind of like, I don't know, each team, they all ask the same things, go over the same plays. So I don't know.
Adam?
In terms of the jump, so a lot of people over here watch Last Chance U. It's a hugely successful show on Netflix. Most of my friends watch it. What's that jump like going from like a JUCO level to Oregon State? I mean, was it the first time when you got to Oregon State where you weren't the best player on the field? Did that have a weird feeling for you?
No, I've never really been considered to be the best player on the field. I've always worked. Like, so when I got there, like it wasn't too much. It wasn't different. I mean, I guess when I got there, I guess Oregon State, they had their players that they knew were good. So I had to just basically come in and show that I could hang with the best of them. So that was that. And then the biggest jump was really just, I guess, picking up the speed of the game. It became a little bit more complex, like actually having to watch film on your own and pick up tendencies from the receiver that you're going to guard this week. Like just certain little things that you really didn't have to do in JUCO. JUCO is kind of like you watch film, you go to practice, and then kind of go and you kind of show up and just play. And then obviously my year, we won a state championship. So we obviously were better than a lot of teams. So that was kind of easy. But yeah, I guess the biggest transition was just picking up the mental part of playing football.
Yeah. So during all this process, you said earlier you've been working out a lot, working on outward training. Is there anything in particular you've been working on? Is it just a case of staying on the hamster wheel and being and staying prepared for whatever comes next?
Well, yeah. So now that I'm back home. So when I was training for like the combine and pro day, it was more like geared towards the specific drills that we would do at our pro day. So now that I'm home, I'm kind of honing in on the things that I feel that I need to get better on. So playing like off coverage and backpedaling and open and breaking. So just getting in and out of my breaks is kind of, I think, the biggest thing for me. And then just obviously sharpening my tools and playing press, which I love to play press. Like that's probably my favorite thing to do. But just honing in on like all the little things, especially like playing off coverage, because I would like to, I like to say I rarely did it in college, especially this past season. This past season was mostly me pressing, so just working on just cleaning my feet up, getting in and out of breaks.
So one of our friends over here, he's a defensive back, defensive side of the ball, savant, really. Matty Brown, he's on Twitter. He's hyped you up there the last couple of weeks, publicly and privately. He wanted me to ask what technique it was that you were playing at Oregon State. Obviously in Seattle with Pete Carroll, it's the step kick technique. So he wants to know what you played at OSU, and if you could talk through what that looks like for us less smart people when we watch games in the fall.
Yeah, so I did I step and kick just because I was long, and like I used this past season I played more so head up than inside, just because I didn't want to give away the outside release so much. So I play step and kick. So basically I'm at the line. I'm kind of splitting the receiver's body in half with my body. And I'm stepping for leverage, whether if it's to my right or to my left, just depending on what side of the field I'm playing on. So I step for leverage. And basically from there, I'm just kind of waiting on the receiver's move, like whether he's going to, like if he's going to try to press me vertical, if he's going to kind of dance at the line. And then I just try to get my hands on, really.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think that's the biggest thing for me is getting my hands on at the line.
Yeah.
When you're watching the league on Sundays and please God, we can get you there at some point. Are there teams that you watch and think, man, I'd love to play in that team? I mean, Stuart and I both unfortunately went undrafted when we came out of college. Yeah, we just didn't quite make it. But you're hopefully going to be there. Do you watch particular games or players or teams and think, man, I'd really love to be a part of that?
No, not necessarily. I mean, at this point, I'm a fan of all 32 teams, so.
That's a smart answer. That's the right answer. The GMs are watching. That's the right answer.
Yeah, so whatever team grabs me. But I mean, there's no one specific scheme that I feel that I fit in. I feel like I can do basically everything. I mean, I played at Oregon State. We played basically man. Like all of our coverages were kind of man based. Like our concepts were kind of man for the corners, at least. So. I mean, I feel like I fit in any system, but I mean, I watch players. I watch players like Richard Sherman, Joe Hayden, and then of course like Jalen Ramsey. But for Jalen Ramsey, not so much for the technique part of the game. Just think Jalen Ramsey, you get a kick out of just watching him play, just because of the swagger and just how he plays the game. Like. I don't think not too many can play the game how he plays it.
Yeah. So is it the Shermans of the world who made you want to specialize as a cornerback? Because I'm guessing when you were in high school, or maybe even when you got to Laney, that you were kind of playing every which way you could to get on the field. Is there a player or thing that you thought you were good at that made you decide to specialize as a cornerback?
Nah, so my story with playing corner was literally like one day, the defensive coordinator came to me and was like, because before I played receiver, so literally the defensive coordinator came to me and was like, come play defense for me. And I was like, okay. I mean, and I had always watched like when you watch highlights, you kind of, especially like for college highlights, you watch like defensive highlights, like Tyrann Mathieu, like you watch kind of like those guys. So you get a kick out of just watching. I think it's like it's funner to watch. Like watching defense, you get a thrill out of it. Offense is like, all right. But, so it wasn't one specific player that kind of made me want to play defense. But as I got better at playing corner, I obviously try to pick up little things from each player. So like. For me, really was like kind of Richard Sherman, just because of how smart he was. And then like, I mean, our bodies, we kind of stack up the same. But just how smart he was, like how he was able to slow the game down and basically made it work for himself. Like he's arguably going to probably be a first ballot Hall of Famer when he's done. So, yeah.
Did you find when you got to college and as you've moved up the levels that idea of the game slowing down, Is there a specific moment you can tell us where you're on the field and thinking, yeah, I've seen that on my tape study, and this is exactly how I feel it is, and I feel so comfortable with it now?
Yeah, for sure. It happened to me a few times this season where I kind of picked up the personnel, and just kind of the personnel, the formation and splits.
Mm-hmm.
And it basically, what I seen on film is basically what I got in the game. So it happened to me a few times this year. It happened to me a couple times against Oregon, and then Washington, it happened for sure once on I got a out and up, and they called a pass interference on me, but like I knew the double move was coming.
Mm-hmm.
So that happened a few times. And then this year against Washington State, the first game, we like the year before, the coaching staff with Wazoo was at Hawaii. So when we got in this specific defense, we knew what they liked to do against it. So we picked it up, and unfortunately, I didn't get the interception. My teammate, Jaden Grant, got the interception. Like, we literally both had our hand on it. He came down with it. But, yeah, that happened. So it definitely happened a few times where I just kind of picked up what I seen on film and took it and seen it on the field.
And if you can describe it, what does that feel like to people like, our listeners and me and Stu that will never play professional sports or that level? What does that feel like when you can see the ball coming your way and it's like, this is mine in a big spot? Because it's got to be the best thing in the world.
Well, like when the ball's coming your way and you kind of feel like it's yours, you really don't, like, everything blocks out. Like, you literally, like, for me, like, literally everything goes quiet. Like, I don't hear nothing. Mm-hmm. It's literally just me and the ball. I don't hear nothing. And then, like, once I've got the ball, it's still kind of like, okay. And then when it's over, then you be like, damn. Like, then when the play's over, then you kind of, it's like, damn, like, I really did that. It's I think there's no better feeling than seeing something on film and on tape, and you get that same play in the game and you capitalize on it. Because I think that's the biggest part of playing defense, is capitalizing on the offense's mistakes and being able to pick up what they do. So it feels great, honestly. Like, I really can't explain how it feels. It just feels good because your coaches are happy, the sideline's pumped up. So yeah.
So a few weeks ago, I wrote about yourself as someone who should be and could be a Seahawk at the end of April. That obviously their depth is thin at corner as we speak, and your game and physicality and frame obviously certainly fits. What is the NFL team? Hopefully the Seahawks, even if it's not, what is an NFL team, an NFL fan base getting from Nahshon Wright if they end up with you in 3-4 weeks time?
I think first you get a good kid on and off the field, someone who's like responsible, and then like on the field with the fans and the coaches are looking for is a playmaker, someone just that has a natural knack for the game of football. Like, I think not too many people are in it just for football. I think a lot of people are in it for what you get from it. I mean, I've been playing football my whole life, so free. So, I mean, and people ask me like, would you still play it if you were playing for free? And I'm like, yeah. So someone who just loves the game of football, regardless of what I'm getting from it or anything.
Yeah. So we saw in Seattle a few years ago when Sherman left and Shaq Griffin moved from one side of the field at cornerback to the other, and it appeared to be a tough transition for him initially. Is that something you've experienced in, and how tough is it to get the technique down but in the opposite way so you can play both outside spots? Is that something that is tough if you've had to deal with it? Or
what you said, like going to play like inside?
Yeah, so like Shaq went from left to right, and obviously he's using his opposite side of his body, wasn't he? No, is that a tough thing to?
No, so yeah, for me at Oregon State, I mean, I play left and right. It was just kind of based, like, some games I'll start at right corner, some games I'll start at left corner. It really didn't, like, what side of the field doesn't really play a factor in the, like, I mean, you get the same thing on the left and the right side of the field, just based on formation and stuff. So it's not something that I would struggle with. But I mean, I don't know how a lot of teams play it. Some in college for me, it was either you played in the field or you played in the boundary. And then I know like in the league, it's kind of like a left corner or a right corner type thing. So, but I did both. So I don't think it wouldn't be a hard transition for me. I don't think.
How are you feeling now, kind of mentally? Obviously, you've done all this work. As you say, you've played for free for what must be 15 years now to get to this stage. And you're in the month where hopefully it's all going to come to a head and you can support your family, your fiance. I mean, is it excitement? Are you kind of checking the calendar every morning thinking, damn, why isn't it April 29th? I need the draft to be now. I mean, what's it feel like now?
I think I'm anxious, kind of just excited for what's next to come. For me, it's not so much excitement, just because excited is like when you've accomplished and you've gotten to where you want to be, and I'm not there yet. So I'm not excited, just more so anxious. Me, I try to play it cool. I'm like pretty humble about my accomplishments and stuff like that. So when people ask me, like I try to like brush it off. So yeah, I'm kind of anxious. Like I really don't know. I'm still working. For me, it's still a lot of work to be done. Like I've only been playing the cornerback position for 3 years, so I'm still new booty. So still working and just letting the days go by. April's a pretty busy month for me. One of my friends is having a baby shower. Then a barber like that's very close to me. He's trying to do something for himself, so I'm helping him with that. And then I'm also in the process of starting up like my own YouTube. So my older brother does videography, so we're like recording my day-to-day life and how my day goes, what I eat, and just stuff like that. So I'm kind of busy for the month of April, and then when April 29th comes, I'm gonna sit back and I'm hoping to hear 4 to 5 corners go in the first round, and then from there it's kind of just sit back and let the cards unfold how they may. So that's what.
Where are you right now? Where will you be watching? Where in the States are you, and who's going to be there for the draft?
I'm in California. So Friday, we're going to be at my mom's house, and we're just going to kind of my immediate family, my fiance and her immediate family. We're kind of just going to sit down and kind of just let it all unfold. And if I get a call on Friday, that would be great. And then if not, just kind of see what happens on Saturday and then Saturday we're going to actually probably throw like a party, just figure it out. I don't know how it all works, but yeah, I'm just sit back and relax, really.
The Seahawks do a thing where they kind of record the phone call when the team select a player, and I think the Colts are doing a similar as well. Have you allowed yourself to imagine what that phone call was going to be like, and how you're going to your reaction would be like to the 206 area code jumping up on your phone?
It'll definitely be emotional for whatever team calls me, just because my dad's not here to see it happen. And then this is just a childhood dream of mine. I worked countless hours. I've put in countless hours. So just for it to all come to fruition, and I literally I've been manifesting this since I was 6 or 7 years old. So for it to all come true, or I don't even know how to put it, but for it to just happen, it's definitely gonna be crazy. So it'll be emotional. I'll probably cry a little bit. It'll definitely be cool. And then after, my family and I, we probably gonna turn up. I don't drink, so everybody else will probably drink. I might drink some Stella Rosa or something.
Yeah.
Some wine that tastes like juice, or some apple cider or something.
Yeah. You've been waiting a long time for this, but I think when that phone rings, I think we have to let it ring twice, Just we don't want to pick the phone up straight
no,
away.
No, I'm picking it up right away.
I don't know.
Because I don't want to miss the call and then they pick somebody else up. As soon as I get a phone call, on Thursday, I'm gonna put out a message. Tell all my family members, do not text me, do not call me. Call my mom. If you need anything, call my mom, call my fiance, do not call me. So when that number rings and whatever area code it is, I'm picking it up right away. They probably, yeah.
Have you got any friends that you need to watch out for that might kind of try the no caller ID thing, or is no one's going to be that nasty to you?
No, I don't think they're gonna do that. I hope they don't.
So you played 2 years at Oregon State. You went there from JUCO, Laney College, as we said earlier. The school was the focus of the last year, the football side of things, the Last Chance U. John Beam is the coach, the man down there. What was he like to play for, and how did that time at Laney and then stepping on to up to Corvallis prepare you for what is coming this month?
I mean, playing here for Coach Beam was amazing. I mean, we won state championships, so that was crazy. And then just throughout that whole process, and even now, like he still helps me. Like this is like I'll be training at Laney, working out, lifting at Laney for the next what's today, the 6th.
Yeah.
So for the next 23 days, I'll be working out there. Kind of just, and like me and Bean, we talk. He's kind of asking me the business side about it, like where do I want to live in the off season, stuff like that. But playing for Bean was amazing. Like he's a great guy. Like I think he's a better man than he is a coach. Like Coach Beam will tell you, like Coach Beam loves to run the ball. He's going to run the ball until it works. So he's kind of like that type of coach. He's kind of like a ground and pound. He don't believe in putting the ball in the air too much. So, but Beam is like, for me, Beam is definitely a better person off the field than he is a coach. Because as a coach, he's very passionate, and he doesn't like you if you're not doing good. So, but off the field, like he's an amazing dude. He helped me through my troubles and hard times while I was in JUCO. So, it was amazing. And then when I was in college, he always called and checked on me. And even now, like Coach Beam was actually a big part in like my agent selection. Like he helped me with picking the agent. And so Beam has kind of always been there every step of the way. So he has both of my phone numbers, my personal and business phone number. So Beam is probably gonna be in my life until forever.
It's fascinating watching those programs because obviously a lot of people are at colleges like Laney to get out and get on to the next place. And as a result, a lot of the guys have quite a self-centered, I don't want to say selfish, but they're thinking about themselves and how they get out. But as you know, it's the ultimate team game. And in quite a few of those seasons, the team has suffered because people are being so individualistic that they're not thinking about the collective. Is that what the coach is there for more than anything, more than the X's and O's? It's trying to bring the group of guys together. And did you feel like you had obviously a good group of guys with you that everyone lifted everyone up instead of people playing for themselves?
Yeah, for sure. Like, I mean, there was always like, of course, like you're going to be kind of self-centered. Like there was times I practiced and I'm like, why haven't I gotten an offer? And and Beam is the guy you go to because Beam is gonna keep it real with you. Beam isn't the type of guy to sugarcoat you. Like if he believe there's times where he'd be like, you're not ready to go play college football. Like you need to do another year here and stuff like that. Like he would tell me what I didn't want to hear. So yeah, definitely. I think Beam did a good job of kind of like putting people in their place, letting them know, and just telling us, like, for me, his thing was just be patient. Like, it'll happen for you. And, like, soon enough for me, like, right after the season, maybe, like, 2 weeks after our state championship, I got my first offer to San Diego State. And then from there, kind of just started to pick up, start getting a bunch of offers. And then in June, Oregon State offered me. At that time, Oregon State was my only Power 5 offer. So I was like, you know what? It's Pac-12, it's Power 5. I'm going to go. But I I could have done another year and probably had every offer in the country, but my ultimate goal was to get to college, get a degree, and get out. And I've done that so far. Like my plan is going pretty well. Like everything I said I was going to do up until this point, I've done. So,
so
now it's just trying to figure out where I'll be.
Yeah. So your younger brother was one of the stars, one of the focus players on that series at Laney. He followed you to Oregon State. You talked about John Beam and how he's kind of like overlooked and helped you every step of the way. How was it playing with your brother at Laney and Oregon State, and how's that been for you to like kind of help guide him through the process and journey you went through 2 years ago?
It was cool. I guess like all my life we've always played together. A few years I played up because I'm older than him, but like his thing, he always played like Ray always played up in like age. So he was 10 playing with 11 and 12-year-olds. So it was definitely fun watching him play. I mean, and playing with him was cool. And then so I mean, I think it was a good and bad thing because I feel like me being there kind of stagnated him. And then now that I'm going, I think he's actually like, especially now that I'm where I'm at now, I think it's a little bit more motivation, like seeing that this can actually be done. So like he's working his tail off now, but it was definitely cool just being able to play with him. And I think him watching me work how I did and stuff like that, he picked up on little things, and he's always been him. He's always been his own person, so he does what he wants to as well. But he's definitely. It was definitely cool though, for sure.
Yeah. One more thing on Laney is obviously in Oakland, and as Seahawks fans, we've kind of like indirectly become aware of that community and through Nahshon Lynch. Obviously, there's quite a few shots in that series where Beast Mode apparel is everywhere. What impact has that man had and continue to have on that community and a place where you play football and like so in such close proximity to?
I think it's just being able, just I think watching Marshawn Lynch and us, like, well, being from the Bay Area, we kind of understand his lingo and stuff like that. Like when he was like, "Take care of your chicken," like we know what he's talking about. So I think that just seeing him do what he did in the league kind of gives you like hope and motivation, like knowing that, like again, that it can be done. Like he went to California University, got a degree, and went to the NFL and made a boatload of money. Like it can be done if you apply yourself. And then he's always had like a hand in the community from what I know. Like I'm not from the Oakland area, but I mean, I kind of not I didn't really grow up out here, but like I have a bunch of friends from Oakland. I played Pop Warner football in Oakland with the East Bay Warriors. So he's always had a hand in the community. So just seeing that done is like my motivation. Like I want to have a helping hand in my community and where I'm from. Yeah. So yeah, Marshawn, like, yeah, definitely. Yeah. Marshawn, Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, like those are guys that have been out here, kind of know what it's like. Yeah. Devontae Adams, Keyshawn Johnson, like there's a bunch of guys like I can name that are from this side of the water or this area that I can say I look up to and kind of people that motivate me.
Is it Oregon State, the running back Jamal Jefferson? Is there anyone else people who are going to be watching in the draft should look up on and get ready to hear their name called and play for their team on Sundays?
Hamaka Rashid, he should be one guy that'll get his name called. And then hopefully my guy Isaiah Dunn, like I think he showed a lot of teams that he can play. Like he's very athletic. He has the ability, like so he he may sneak in there. Oregon State, I think in the next couple of years to come will probably be a dominant program just because of the way it's been going, like the upward trend that they've been having there in Corvallis. And then they have a great coaching staff, like just a bunch of great guys, great players. So the next coming year, you probably see a lot more people. But I'm hoping like all like the 4 people that participated in the pro day this past Thursday. I hope we all get our name called. But yeah.
What's being in a pro day like? Because even by name itself, everyone knows what it's there for. It's for you to show off your skills to hopefully progress your life and career. I mean, I'd be terrified and I wouldn't catch a cold, let alone catch a pass on a day like that. So what's that like mentally going into it?
For me, I'm like a cool, calm and collect guy. Like I don't let a lot get to me because a lot has happened to me in my life. So stuff like this, like it's kind of like second nature to me. Like me, I went into it cool with a smile on my face. I wasn't nervous at all. Again, I was just anxious. Like I was ready to show teams what I could do. I've been playing football all my life. So I wasn't nervous about catching a ball or running because I know this is what I can do. So I went into it relaxed, just ready to show what I can do. That's what it was for me. I wasn't nervous. It's kind of preparing myself mentally for these types of moments. So when I get to that moment, it's kind of like, all right, I've rehearsed this. I've done this before, so let's do it again. So that's what it is for me. I wasn't nervous or anything.
So we talked a few weeks' time. You'll be sitting around having a party with your closest and your family. Adam is a caterer by trade. So if you could ask Adam to provide you with one plate of food or cook up one meal, what would that be for that drafting moment?
Yeah, what's that celebratory meal going to be like?
I don't know. I think my uncle will be on the grill, but I don't know. Anything. Like I eat a plethora of stuff. Like I'll eat whatever as long as it's good.
But if they can, it's your day. You're going to the NFL. You calling the shots now. What are you demanding on that plate? Because that's what we really want to hear, the detail about that sort of stuff.
Well, me, like I love macaroni and cheese, some type of rib, some type of barbecue, baked beans, potato salad, really anything, like some type of 4th of July meal, like what I would eat on 4th of July, something like that.
That sounds like a pretty good way to start everything off. And if there was, and we always ask if there's something that is not allowed anywhere near that plate. So for me, it's tuna fish in a can. I can't even smell the stuff. I hate it. So what are we just, it's the NFL stars not having this anymore. So what you're not having again?
What am I not having? What do I don't know. There's a lot of stuff I don't like, but I don't know. Anything that's nasty, really.
That's a good place to start, I guess.
Don't bring nothing that's nasty.
So yeah,
my mom doesn't cook anything that I don't like. So
nice.
Mine too, and my mum's listening to this show, I think. So
a lot of
about her.
Yeah, a lot of the stuff that I've found that I didn't like was me going out, exploring, trying to eat. So yeah, my mom has never, I don't think she's ever cooked anything that I don't like. So as long as she don't bring nothing that she's never brought, I think we'll be fine.
Nice. So where can people on the social media, where can people follow your next few weeks and obviously the next step of your journey and join your NFL career? Where can people catch you and dap you up on socials?
Yeah, so my Instagram handle is Young Hefe. It's YNGHEFE _. And then my Twitter handler is at NAHWRIG. I'm usually always on Instagram and Twitter. Those are kind of the two things I'm on. You can't have my Snapchat, but I rarely use that. And then I go on Facebook just a little bit for like my mom, because my mom heavy on Facebook. My Facebook name is my name. So yeah.
Awesome. So we really do appreciate your time. We understand it's a really busy time for you, and obviously a massive like landmark moment for you in the next few weeks as well. So we really do appreciate you taking the time to talk to us two Brits. So the California Seattle link has been somewhat busy over the past decade or so. And as I wrote, and as I said earlier, I do hope it continues at the end of April, and we see you play on Sundays anywhere, but obviously specifically in Seattle would be pretty cool and a good addition to that DB room, Nahshon.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
And we want one of those jerseys when you sign up for someone. So you know,
all right, y'all just gotta hit me, because there's probably gonna be a bunch of people asking for.
Yeah, I didn't think we'd be the first people to ask, so we'll have to get in that line pretty quick.
All right, yeah, just hit me.
Will do. Cheers, Nahshon.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
That was good.
1 minute. Yeah, it was. Yeah.